Hi, my name is Amy. Thank you very much for watching, and let's make some bad financial decisions together. So, this is all for entertainment purposes only. No financial advice to be found here. And if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. I got banned from our personal finance today, and I still stand by my opinion on what happened. So, I would like to discuss what happened, and maybe this will help somebody that is in a similar situation. So, here's a dramatic reenactment of what happened. Help! My relative quit their job. They have $1,500 in expenses every month and $20,000 in their savings account. They want to take a few months off of work because of burnout. Any advice on how to deal with this financially? That is quite the pickle that your relative has found themselves in. There's not much that investing will help with either. Except, well, maybe. There are high income ETFs that might be able to help. MSTY, for example, has been paying around $2 a share, so it's possible for you to get around $1,600 per month with $20,000. However, MSTY is extremely risky because it is a single stock ETF and a Bitcoin play. There are other high income ETFs that are probably a better investment, like XDTE and QDTE, but you would probably only get about $500 a month from them. Banned. My comment was removed because apparently this is hype and telling people that they're getting unrealistic returns. However, if you look at MSTY and how much they've distributed since inception, they have been getting around $2 per share. And the way that I got $1,600 per month was I literally just took $20,000 and divided by 12. That's just how I remember MSTY as, is like whatever the dollar amount is, divide it by 12, and that's how much you're going to get per month from MSTY, which will not always be true, but I mean, it's close enough for me. Anyways, here's what, I've done the math now. So at today's high price of $27.83, with MSTY, you would only get $1,300 per month. But YMAG, with their distribution today, you would get $1,173. And then XDTE at $52.20 of distribution gets $303. So if your expenses are $1,500 per month, none of these scenarios will pay your minimum expenses. However, and hear me out, let's take a look at these prices, because at what price point for MSTY would we need in order for also, I used the latest distribution of $1.85, but you can see that this is like the least amount. But for me, when I'm trying to project how much money I would make, I want to use like a lesser amount. That way I'm pleasantly surprised and not disappointed, and then I need, $150 more. Like, that's bad. So, could I live off if my cost basis was $26? It's closer, not really. About $25. Still not $1,500. So let's go to $24. Okay, so I can get 833 shares at $24. I would have $1,500 per month. There's a few things wrong with this, though. First of all, MSTY really is not the most stable thing, and you probably should not be putting all of 100% of your eggs in one basket. But I do understand that when you're in a situation where you need $1,500 per month and someone presents you with a solution and you can just get $1,500 per month with the amount of money that you already have, that is very tempting. And so I don't blame people. I just wanted you to know that MSTY exists, and also MSTY's kind of a bad idea. But the other problem with this is that the current price is at $27. Does it matter that my cost basis needs to be $24? Kind of yes, kind of no. And hear me out. If you are looking to spend and buy 800 shares of MSTY anyways, there's no reason why you can't sell a put. Because, okay, so let's say it 9 days from now. You're only going to get $10 for this put. But if the price goes down and you buy it at $24, which is what you would want to do anyway, you have $10 more than you used to have. And this expires before the next declaration date for MSTY. So you could then go to November, which is 30 days away, or you can skip October and write it off as a loss. You can I think they call it a options ladder, where you can actually sell puts at different price points with different premiums. And as long as for you, because we've established that we need $1.85 per 100 shares, as long as it averages out to being that, then when the price goes lower, you can get some at we're talking about 8 contracts. So you could have one at 25 and one at 22. And some of these you might not get assigned, and then you can put out more contracts later. But as long as you get the amount of money with the premium that you need for that month, you can just sit and wait until you get assigned and then buy it at that point. I mean, options are an advanced technique for investing, and you can make it more complicated and more profitable. But I'm just saying that I'm not encouraging you to become a day trader or anything like that. But to get initially into MSTY, if you can get in at $24 and it pays $2 per share, or you bought in at $24, it rises to $30, and all of a sudden you're getting $3 per share, then you're looking pretty good. And it does not have to be Bitcoin related, this advice. Just putting that out there. There are other things. I've been kind of gathering them up in my own lists. There's SoFi, which is banking, and Compass, which is real estate, HIMS, which is healthcare, and a bunch of different meme stocks. So you can look and see which options will get you the premium that you need in order to get enough money to be able to live. But so the options that are options, I've chosen MSTY, BITO, and MSTX. MSTY, BITO is you can do it weekly. They have enough traffic for that. MSTY, you want in because you want in the distributions. BITO also has 67% distributions, so their cover calls also kind of suck. But for MSTX, their sell puts are average, but for every contract, It's actually kind of amazing. But if you sell a call for MSTY, and this is expiring in 37 days, like you can see that you can get $520, you can get $420. Like you can put it as far up as you want and get less money. But if you need a bunch of money, like if you bought in, if you sold the put and you got it at $33, you can get, $600 per share, $500 per share. It just depends on your risk tolerance and how comfortable you are with this type of strategy. So here's what I'm thinking. I personally don't want to be 100% into MSTY. Like, you can sell 8 contracts of MSTY with whatever leftover money you have, just buy individual stocks of MSTY and hopefully like put it limit orders and buy at $24 when it's available, and don't mess around with options, and you should be able to get around $1,500 a month. And then moving forward with the distributions, if there's any leftover money, then invest in YMAG and XDTE. I just think that investing in more stable and indexed funds will mean that you have a happier time of this than if you go 100% into MSTY and then there's a crypto winter and all of a sudden, like, there's no volatility, so the premiums suck and you don't have enough money. I'm not trying to go for that. But for now, as an emergency measure with $20,000, I would probably do 7 contracts of MSTY and 1 contract of MSTX. For that's $16,000 for MSTY and $3,300 for MSTX, and then all the leftover money would go into YMAG and XDTE. So that would mean that your distribution for MSTY would be about $1,200 a month, and then you can, if you get assigned for MSTX, you would turn around and get about $500 a month with the covered call. Then you would get $11 from YMAG and $4.40 from XDTE for a total of $1,716. I do think that this is extremely risky, but there's really not that much leeway or options for you if you really do need $1,500 from $20,000. What I would recommend that also, if you are like the relative, that you have them do this, but then you also set aside an amount of money and you start your own investing account that's a nice balanced mixture of growth ETFs, high income ETFs in your core position. And when your relative has an emergency or the distributions aren't enough and they come knocking at your door for a couple $100 here, $500 there, at least you'll have money that is not in your budget that you can help them. And it's not as big of a strain on your own life that you need to establish. And in that way, you won't build resentment with your relative. And I just think that if they can put their stuff into risky stuff, and then you can have a more reasonable account that between the two of you. Yes, I am saying that you probably need more than $20,000 to live comfortably, for expenses being $1,500 a month, but I know that like you can't tell someone that only has $20,000 to get more than $20,000, but if you are, I mean, everybody wants to help their relatives up to a certain extent. But I just think that this would be rather risky. And if you do have $1,700, and so that means you have $200 left over every month, I would just 50-50 split that into YMAG and YMAX and XDTE until it's a bigger portion of this portfolio, and that way we can de-risk ourselves while also, having enough money to live. That was my entire take. Was I don't think it's a particularly good idea, but it is possible. And sometimes, I just want to know what's possible. That way I can make an informed decision about where I'm going with this stuff. Also, like, we look at my portfolio, I'm not like just saying high income ETFs and then doing nothing. I have 580 shares of MSTY. It is currently, where's the portfolio diversity? Because I'm at 52% of my entire portfolio is in MSTY. So I am obviously very, very well rounded in my own portfolio. But like I said before, I am in a little bit of a financial emergency, and it's nice to have the higher distributions that MSTY has in order to, have the income to be able to deal with the little hiccups that life gives me. So I know that these are not like well established ETFs, and they are risky, but I don't think that telling people about things that exist and you have a track record is unrealistic. But what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that someone that has $20,000 in their bank account and is burned out and can't work right now, do you think that they should just keep it in their savings account and just spend every last penny they have and then make them go back to work? Or do you think that they should do just all in on options trading and become a gambling addict? Or do you think that, high income ETFs, just getting by and just getting enough money to survive is the best option? And like, would you recommend MSTY? Would you have recommended a different single stock, or would we be better off just recommending Roundhill and JEPI and YMAX? Anyways, I will talk to you all later. And have a good night.